I would like now to give you some insight about a few naturally arising questions, such as what is in it for the industry? In other words, why did the industry embark on all this adventure? Also something more specific, what is in there for small businesses? And then I will come to the thing that everyone is asking for. How does it actually work? So we will go through a journey. And finally, I also want to spend some time on what is in there for competent authorities. As Gérard explained it, our ultimate goal is to deliver appropriate classification for consumer and users in general. Building on CLP, A.I.S.E opted for a collaborative approach. This collaborative approach started within the industry. Getting to an appropriate classification according to CLP requires quite some data, also quite some expert knowledge. This implies time and money, in simple words. By sharing what can be shared, in other words, mutualizing the costs, the industry can achieve several things at once. Reduce the overall as well as the individual costs, increase the overall knowledge, and last but not least, ensure a more coherent approach to the benefit of the final user. DetNet is, Gérard already mentioned it, is open to all companies facing the need to classify for skin and eye effects, some products falling in the scope. So this means for the time being, laundry detergents, liquids and powders, and dishwash detergents and all-purpose cleaners with the exception of the extreme pH products. But it is also including other products with similar chemistry of formulation as the ones just mentioned. It is not simply open to all companies. During the development process already, special attention has been given to SMEs and their specific needs. The final tool is actually the result of 2 successive pilot phases. I'm not sure that many systems have been go through this process, to which all contributes to take all needs into account, hence also the SMEs' needs. What is particularly interesting, and this is already a view of the website, is that DetNet is not only a database, the black oval that Gérard showed, providing data online, but the website is as such an interactive toolbox. It is offering a user-friendly working desk to accompany experts along the classification journey. There are several tools provided to DetNet users, and all relevant documentations available online. Among all these documents, DetNet users will find in particular the A.I.S.E explanatory notes on the assessment of new detergent mixtures on the basis of existing information from similar mixture. This long title just to say that this is the detergent industry practical guide building on the bridging principle and the expert judgment foreseen in CLP. As I said, special attention for SME was given when building the system, and that's the reason why a self-assessment tool is provided online to help individual experts to evaluate their skills in the specific field of applied toxicology. Moreover, for particular difficult questions, DetNet offers the possibility to access some recognized experts, the so-called external experts. This feature is actually directly inspired from the German experienced trustee expert model, which is shown to be very handy for classification according to DPD. Finally, DetNet SMEs users will benefit from a network of national help desks as far as they are also members of the National Association of A.I.S.E. The very much lowered fee, that's the marketing part, for members of the A.I.S.E network is a clear incentive, still not an obligation, to join the European-wide detergent industry network. Now let's go through the different steps of the classification process. So on these slides you have the first screens for the first step, where the DetNet user, the expert, enters the complete formulation. So far so good. Then he selects some search options to get out of the database a series of best match. already there you need some basic expertise, obviously. On the basis of the search results, the expert will look for the closest matching formulation and from there derive a classification. To confirm this classification, the expert has to go through a detailed comparison. All this is provided by the system. It's really a stepwise process. And before being able to get the final outcome, the expert has to complete the classification record Gérard already mentioned. In other words, he has to write down all his reasoning to document his conclusions. And it is only when he has done all this that he can get the final classification record, which is identified by DetNet with a unique classification logging number. This number system, as Gérard already said, is quite useful for company internal traceability and at the same time showing that this has been done with the help of this tool. Just for clarity, as classification network records as such are not kept in the database, there is no confidentiality issue for data, company's data. That's an important feature. Oops. So now let's come to the last point I wanted to talk about with you today. Securing an appropriate classification for consumer and user is also a goal for authorities. This is the reason why A.I.S.E and its network of national associations engage with authorities from the very beginning and are very much willing to continue doing so. But what are the actual, I went too fast, I'm sorry for that. This is the one. What are the benefits for competent authorities? Actually, first of all, the full transparency. The classification decision made with the help of DetNet is systematically documented, as I just explained. On request, if deemed necessary, authorities will have access to all information behind the data for the classification. So this obviously includes confidential data. Another benefit is some kind of standardization in the classification records, which will facilitate verification by comparison, as well as provide opportunities to deepen authorities' expert knowledge as well. And at last but not least, DetNet provides a frame towards consistency with the basic principle of CLP. In conclusion, with DetNet, the industry will be better off for classifying a series of products regarding skin and eye effects. DetNet is a user-friendly tool which takes into account SMEs' needs as well. Experts will be able to fully documented classification records, which is the best way to face inspection later on. And A.I.S.E will continue supporting SMEs in close collaboration with DetNet and A.I.S.E experts. During this short presentation, I'll also touch upon how authorities could benefit from a broad industry use of DetNet. And as a very final point, I would like to come back on what Gérard already mentioned, the need for feedback from all users, which is crucial to keep the tool fit for purpose, to make it evolving with technologies, and eventually extend it to other product categories of our industry. All this obviously with the ultimate goal to get the product classification consistent and relevant for consumers and end users. I thank you for your attention.